Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to make a gemstone macrame necklace. I've got some requests for that since I made the one with the beads from the burgundy box. And today I'm going to use this, it's like a taupe color. It kind of matches some of the colors in this lapis. So I've got 10mm, 8mm, and 6mm lapis. I've got a silver flowered button. I've got some silver fluted beads that I will probably use as spacers. And then I've got this silver flower pendant. Okay, and then I'm going to be using a easy eye needle, which the whole thing pulls apart. And you just put your thread in there. And I'm hoping that this thread goes through these gemstones. I've got a couple of clips to clip my sides down here, and I've got a box lid because I don't have a macrame or a design box or board. So I just use a lid. It works just fine. Alright, so everybody get your materials together, come back, and we'll get started. Alright, here's the easy eye needle that I'm going to be using. When you buy them, they come in sets of 2. Alright, and I'm just going to stick that right there for a moment because we got to decide how we want to hang our pendant. If we want to just do the macrame and then hang it from the bottom with a jump ring, or if we want to work it in and begin there. And I'm thinking I want to begin at the pendant so it's more secure and I don't have to use a jump ring. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my S-Lon cord and I'm going to pull off a long piece because I want this to be sort of a long necklace. And then I want to leave some left over, a little bit extra length left over just in case I need it. So, I don't know, I've got about doubled over 3 feet, so probably 6 feet of cord, and then double it. Alright, and I'll go ahead and clip that there. Alright, and I will take the pendant and put it through one side. Bring it down to the center. And then what I think I'm going to do, I could either macrame up a little ways, or I can silk wrap it. So, since there's not very many drill holes, I was going to put a bead in the macrame, and then start the sides coming out. Okay, so I have got my pendant clipped down by the strand that we put through, and it's going to branch off like this. And then I went ahead and took another extra piece of cord and went through the loop and brought it back and clamped it on the other side, just to hold it, pretty taut for me while we macrame this pendant on. So I got I don't know, 6-foot piece of thread, and I doubled it over to get about the midpoint. And so I'll put one end under and pull Alright, and oh, I went under the wrong spot. I can't slide it up. Alright, let's do that again. Just go underneath the cords with one end and pull it up until you get the middle. There's my little friend. Go, friend. Off my desk. Now, how did that slide up there again? Oh, I see. Under the pendant. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this with these little characters. So I'm just trying to get the center here. Make sure you're centered. That way you can maximize your cord usage. Alright, that's about centered. And we'll start with a P. And what we'll do, we'll just put our cord over in a P. Across, make sure you cross the center cord. Then you bring the other leg over across that cord that we just brought over across the center, and under everything and up through that loop, and then pull and we'll start about, I don't know, right here. And now we'll do the Q. So we'll bring the left side over the center line, bring the right leg over that left leg, under and up through, and slide that knot right up by the other. And then we'll do the P. So we'll bring the line over in a P shape across the center cord. We'll bring the left leg over that right leg, under everything, and up through the loop. No, I don't know what just happened. Everything flipped over. I have to do that again. I know what I'm missing. I'm missing this little lift here. Alright, so then we'll bring the Q over, the right leg over the left leg, right here. This goes over top, underneath everything, and back up through the loop. Pull it down, and then the P over the center, bring the left leg over the right leg, and up through the loop. Now the Q over the center, right leg over the left, under everything and up through the loop. Alright, now the P. You can tell which side, if you take a break or forget what side you just did, you can tell what side to start off on because you got this little crescent. So that means I'll start on that side. So we'll go over the leg of the center. We'll bring the left over the right leg, underneath the whole project, underneath the center and up through the loop. and then we'll go left, Q, right leg over the left, underneath everything and up through the loop. Sorry about the little boogers playing in the background. If you hear noise, that's them playing. Alright, now we'll do the P. Now we'll do the Q. Now we'll do the P. Now we'll do the Q. Oops. And we'll pull that down. And that looks good. And that's where we would just cut don't cut it all the way down because we need to glue it. At the moment, I don't have any GS Hypo cement, and that's what we need with that little tiny tip on it. You know, that little tip of GS Hypo cement. But I do have a new tube of E6000. So let me grab it. Let me grab a toothpick and a baggie, and I'll be right back. Alright, I've got a little bit of, or I'm going to squeeze out a little bit of glue onto my baggie. Alright, I'm going to make sure to clean my top so it doesn't get all gunked up on my glue cap. And I'm going to take my toothpick. I'm going to get a little bit of glue. And I'm going to glue these and, you know, the sides of these knots. Right? I'm going to turn it over on the other side and get the top. Get the other side glued. This is a little thicker glue. I like the GS Hypo Cement because it runs down into and absorbs in the thread. This, not so much. I looked for some at Hobby Lobby and did not find any. They used to sell it at Pat Catan's. So I'm going to have to check Michael's out. If not, I'll have to order online. But I think that's good. Alright, so just let your glue dry. And when I come back, we'll cut that and begin. Okay, what I did was both strands actually fit through this lapis and the little fluted spacer bead. So that worked out well. My glue's not completely dry, but I'm going to go ahead and leave those little legs on until it does. And I've got one leg of my necklace. Let me see here with the needle on it. And that's the side I'm going to go ahead and string beads on. Okay. So, let's see, what's the... Oh, this is to hold this side down. So I'll go ahead and leave that on. And I'll go ahead and string on in, whatever order I want. So I guess down right here, it'd be good. We're going to macrame a few, and then we're going to put out a bead. So I'll use the smallest, the 6mm first. And then 8. I put on an 8mm. Sometimes you'll get some with smaller holes. So let me try another 8mm. And then a 10mm. And then we'll go back down to 8. And see that? See how it'll start raveling? It's the way you got to give yourself some extra. Because you'll have to snip it down to where the ravel starts. Get back. Get back. Come on. Get back. Go play. And then re-thread your needle. Go. Go on. And then 6. Then I think we'll do... Now these will all be spread out, remember, because we're going to do macrame in between. So we'll add a spacer. And then we'll just start the pattern all over again with the 6mm. Got past it that time, but I'm going to have to cut my thread again. So you get the picture. This is my pattern right here. And I'm going to keep going. And I'm going to string on, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 sets of these. And then we can get started with the macrame. Alright, so string yours, come back and we'll get started. Alright, here's how we have it set up. I've got this side with the pendant clasped down here. And then here's the macrame and the 2 beads. Alright, we want to make sure it's all gonna sit properly. And then we'll string back and clamp this side down, the string that we're working on, to the box. Okay, I've got the needle with more of the beads back here behind the clamp. Alright, but right now I'm just working with a select amount right here. And that's enough for now. Now we'll put this, or roll of thread here underneath to lift it up off the mat. And we'll move this out of the way. Maybe put it under the box. And right here's our work area. Right here. Alright. So after I get done macrameing, oh, first, let's see how long this is. First I've got to cut my macrame cord. So just get a comfortable length, because we can always add two. I'll show you how to do that when we come to it. So get a comfortable length of cord. I'll put this back underneath. I'll find the center. Of the cord, and away we go. So getting started is the hardest, so I'm going to start with the P. Because you know, these just kind of there. So I'm going to make my P, and my leg goes over here. I'm going to bring the left leg over the right leg that I brought over in the middle, underneath my work, and up through the loop. And I'm going to bring it right down to those beads. Make sure my cord's about even. It's even enough. Alright, and now I'm going to do the Q. Now this is where you're going to bring your leg over. The left leg that you brought over. Underneath all your work. And up through the loop. So there's one complete macrame knot, a flat macrame knot. Two of these, a P and a Q, equals one knot. So we'll go back to the P, bring that over that leg, underneath the work, and up through the loop. And now the Q. Now you have to decide how many knots you want in between your beads. There's 2 knots. Bring the right leg over. Left leg over the right leg, underneath the center and up through the loop. Now the Q. That's 3 knots. Right leg over left, left leg over the right, up through the center. That's 4 knots. Let's see what 5 looks like. And there's 5. Now let's bring down. I think that looks good. Alright, so let's just bring a bead down, and then we just continue to do our P's and Q's. We bring the right leg over across that center, the left leg over across that right leg, underneath everything, underneath the center there, and up through the loop. And you bring it down, and then do your Q. right leg over the center, or left leg over the center, right leg over the left leg, and underneath the center, up through that loop, and there's one. Two, or 1.5. Two. Two and a half. Three. Right leg over the center. Left leg over the right leg. Underneath and up through that loop. I lost count. I think that's 4. Right leg over the left, or left leg over the right leg, up through the middle. No, I thought the other one was 3. That's 4. Now one more set. Alright, 5. And then you bring your bead down. Start whatever side you always start on, just continue to start on that side. Alright, so there's a half. There's 1. One and a half. 2. 2.5. 3. 3.5. 4. 4.5. 5. Bring down your 10mm. I think between every set of 6, 8, 10, 8, 6, then we'll do like a little, I don't know, area that's longer with these spacer beads, just to give a little change up. We'll see when we get there. So, we'll start on the right, my P. Then my Q, that's 1. We start running out of room here. We'll have to resituate things. 1.5. 2. 2.5. 3. 3.5. 4. 4.5. 5. 'Alright, I need some more room, so I will bring this down carefully and try to clamp over. Well, I can't do that. I need this down here. Try to clamp over top of this bead. There we go. And then I'll bring some more of these beads up. Into our work area. I'll bring them back. And I'll clamp. There we go. And I'll just continue. So that was 5. I'll bring down our 8mm and start over. One half. There's 1. One and a half. 2. 2.5. 3. And so the next one will be a 6mm. And then do your macrame of, after the 6mm, do your macrame of 5 macrame units. Come back and we will do the area with the spacer together. Alright, let's try this. Let's try doing we did our 5 units. Now let's try doing a swirled macrame, which is just doing it all on one side. Like, I'll make mine all P's. Let's see how that turns out. So there's a P. I'm gonna have to add thread before long. There's a P. Three P's. Four. 5, 6, 'I don't think that one worked right. Let's try it again. 7, 8, 9. That's gonna look cool. See how it's like a spiral. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 'Man, it's way backwards. Alright. Then we'll bring down our spacer. And then we'll do 15 more spirals. That's one. I'm gonna change the thread here in just a minute. 2, as soon as we get this established. There we go. Now let's get another piece of thread. These sides will come down like this and get macrame into the body. Let's go ahead and move this down. And then we'll put the new thread underneath. In the center. Now, it's easier if we can kind of find a way to tuck these ends under this thread or something to hold them steady. That'll be alright, I think. So we'll keep doing the peas, remember. Underneath everything. Here we go. I'll be right. Alright, so we did one. We're doing 15 on the right, or whichever side you're choosing to do. And we're doing it over top of the we switched we added thread, so we're doing it over top of all three right now. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. One more. We can make it. Quick growling, baby. 15. Alright, now we're going to cut off these. And we'll flip the strings over and get a fresh start here with the regular 5 sets. Clipped off the ends there from the last thread. We switched out our thread, so now we'll do 5 sets of regular. right. Oops, I didn't get under that. Didn't get that little piece underneath there. Alright, there's one, or a half, and then left. One. One and a half. Two. Two and a half. Come on. Did I miscount? Three. Trying to keep it straight here. Three and a half. Four. One more set. Four and a half. Five. And then we'll bring down our 6mm and start on whichever side you always start on. One half. One. Alright, now we'll just continue to do what we did here with our stations, 6, 8, 10, 8, 6, and then we'll do a set of 5, and then we'll do 15 on one side to make the curls. We'll do our spacer bead, and then do 15 more, and then set of 5, and then we'll just continue to go with our our beads. However you're doing it, I'm doing it like a mirrored 6 and 8 and 10 in the center. Alright, so I showed you how to, if you need more thread, I showed you how to add thread by just macrameing over top of these two and the center, and then cutting it off when you get down a good ways. Alright, so however long you want to make it, I'm thinking I'll probably end up making mine probably 3 stations long with 2 sets in between. But I'll let you know when I get finished. Alright, have fun. Alright, so we've gotten the pendant. We've got one station of the gemstones, one station of the macrame, the regular macrame, twist macrame and our spacer beads, 2 sections, 2 spacers, 3 sections, 3 spacers, and that's where I'm going to end it off. I'm going to go ahead and clamp this down. And I'm going to clamp the center, and we're going to macrame a loop. I like to put my button on the right side, my loop closure on the left side, since I am right-handed. And so this is the left side we started with, so we've got to macrame the loop. And it doesn't have to be real big because I've got a small button here. So I've still got some ends here, so I'm going to go ahead and continue working. This one's quite a bit shorter than the other, but I think I'll have enough room to do the macrame closure. And so we've got our 15 twisted and our 5 non-twisted, so we're just going to go ahead and continue macrame knots until I think I've got a big enough loop. And I'm going to show you a couple more times slow. Alright, so this is the second part of the knot, and it's in a Q. You bring the left string over the center string, down, then you bring the right string over the left string, and up under, and up through the loop. You're going under that center strand, and then you make a P. Comes around, crosses the center string, and down, then the left side, the left leg, comes over top of this left leg, and it goes over top, and then under the center, and up through that loop. Alright, and whatever side your little crescent's on here is the side that you make your loop on. And it takes 2, a P and a Q, to make one macrame knot. I was wondering why I was having a hard time there. So I'm going to make this about I'm going to say about another 1/2 inch. Alright, so I'll come back when I'm done. Alright, so after we get it macrame as long as we want it, see there? Then I just folded it down. I made sure it went over my button. I folded it down, and now we're just going to macrame over top. Let's see. Let me try clamping it down. Let me try pinning this under here. Okay, and this metal string, and this is... So, I'm going to make a right loop. I'm going to bring the left over the right leg. It's getting kind of short, so I got to make sure that stays there. This goes underneath everything and up under. And I'll put it where I want it. Right there. And then I'll make a left loop. This goes under, over that right leg or left leg, up through the loop, just like we did before. Just make sure that you're catching everything underneath, going underneath everything, and then move it up where you want it, right by the other. All right. I'm just trying to get this up a little bit so I don't have to fight with it. There we go. Now the right. Over the right leg. Up through the loop. Make sure this left leg don't disappear. It's so short. Let's see. And then left. Alright, now we're definitely going to have to glue those ends. With the toothpick. I'm gluing this really well because, it's going to get a lot of wear and tear. Alright, and then we'll just let that dry. We will let that dry and then cut the ends and then the center. And then we will start, lay that there on that baggie. And then we will start on this left or the right hand side, doing the exact same thing all the way up. Start with 2 sets of 5 macrame knots, and then bring down your beads and do the exact same thing on the right side. And then when you get to the end, we'll come back and we'll put the button on. Okay? I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so I'm at the end here of my second side of my necklace, and we're down to the end where we put our button on for closure. And so I will, let's see, string the button on to the middle strand. Alright, and we just treat the button loop like we would a bead, and we'll just macrame around it. I'll go ahead and clamp this down. Like this. And so we'll do okay, maybe let's see, I'm trying to get it up off the ground a little. There we go. And so we'll do a P, and a Q, P, and a Q, alright, excuse me, and then I'll get out my glue and toothpick. And I'll squeeze a little glue onto the baggie. And I'll glue that macrame knot. And make sure to get the sides. Alright, and then I'll let that dry, and then cut it off, come back, and we'll look at our necklace. Okay, here we go, and here's our necklace. Our beautiful little macrame necklace. I really like the twisted parts. You know, just gives a little extra something to the necklace. Alright, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.